Welcome back to America Decides. Thanks for staying with us. CBS News Sacramento investigative reporter Julie Watt and the CBS News Confirmed team have combined forces to fact-check Governor Gavin Newsom's, that's California Governor Gavin Newsom's website designed to combat what he and others in his administration describe as wildfire misinformation. Here's some of what they found.
Yeah, Governor Newsom set up his own fact-checking website to counter what he calls lies about California's wildfires. But they're not all lies, exactly. So we asked our CBS News Confirmed team to fact-check the governor's fact-check.
I ask you, we've got to deal with this misinformation. There were hurricane-force winds of mis and disinformation, lies.
Misinformation after a disaster is nothing new, but Governor Newsom's approach to combating it certainly is. He set up his very own fact-check website using his personal domain. Interestingly, he never directly fact-checks President Trump. You might call it social media diplomacy. Instead, he fact-checks posts from people who echo the president's sentiments. While some of his fact-checks are easily verifiable, like the Hollywood sign was not on fire, others require some nuance, which brings us to fact-check number 1. Did Governor Newsom cut California's fire budget ahead of the LA fires? Newsweek was first to publish the headline, but the governor didn't respond until it was picked up by Fox News.
More stupidity and stunning incompetence from California's Democrat leaders.
Newsom called the reports that he cut California's fire budget by $100 million in the months before the fire a ridiculous lie. Except it's not a lie. Let's start with the governor's fact-check. It is a fact that since he took office, the number of CAL FIRE personnel and CAL FIRE's budget has increased significantly. It did not double. It is also a fact that Newsom did cut more than $100 million in supplemental wildfire-related funding last year. Here's the budget. It includes $12 million in cuts for home hardening, $5 million for prescribed fires and hand crews, but the bulk of the cuts were for biomass pilot and conservation projects, so it's unlikely these cuts would have actually impacted the LA fires. Now to fact-check number 2. Did California run out of water?
For the sake of the smell, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing.
Instead of fact-checking the president, the governor fact-checked a post from Libs of TikTok, saying there's no water coming out of the hydrants because the city didn't fill the reservoirs. As the governor notes, in fact, the reservoirs in California are full, and there's no water shortage in Southern California. In fact, state data shows that all but 3 of California's major reservoirs are at or above historical averages. But the 117 million gallon reservoir nearest the Palisades fire was out of service when the fires began. Newsom said he's launching an independent investigation.
Now, it's worth noting that the reservoir is not the reason the fire hydrants ran dry. According to LA city officials, they did have 3 1-million-gallon water tanks feeding those hydrants, but those tanks ran out of water by the second morning of the firefight. They say it wasn't due to a lack of water, but rather unprecedented demand. They say they couldn't fill the tanks fast enough to get enough water pressure to then feed back to those hydrants. So a lot of important context and nuance here.